mystery. Many people love mysteries. It's exciting to put ourselves in the shoes of the detective and try and figure out who done it as we turn the pages of a mystery novel. But there's a cliffhanger that will never resolve until we experience it ourselves. Those of us who have watched in sadness as someone close to us has died and wonder about their new existence. We wonder about their new existence. Our hearts ache to know that what they're doing or where they are. If they have trusted Jesus Christ as their Savior, we know that they're in heaven. But for now, a veil separates us from our loved ones, and we cannot see behind it. We do have a few clues about the mystery, though. We know that departed loved ones are enjoying God's presence, as the Bible tells us in 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 8, be absent from the body to be present with the Lord.
Yes.
We also know that they're recognizable and conscious of the things of the things surrounding them, just like the rich man and Lazarus Jesus spoke about in this passage. And we know that they haven't yet received a perfect body that will be theirs. That will be theirs when Christ returns. And the Bible tells us in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 13, I'm going to read this for you. But I know not, but I would not have you be ignorant, brethren, concerning the things which are asleep, that ye sorrow not, even as others which have no hope. For if we believe that Jesus died and rose again, even so them which are asleep in Jesus will God bring with him. For this we say unto you by the word of the Lord, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of the Lord shall not prevent them which are asleep. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, and the voice of the archangel, with the trump of God, and the dead in Christ shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we even be with the Lord. Wherefore comfort one another with these words. We all are going to face this day. We all are going to come to the end of our life, and we're all going to have to face God. Well, this story tonight, or this about these two fellas that were here in the story, the rich man and Lazarus, there were some distinct things about them. The rich man, as we can tell by the story, needed nothing. And this certain rich man, which was clothed in purple and fine linen, fared sumptuously every day. He had the latest, I believe he had all the latest styles in clothing. He probably had the best of the best. He was in need of nothing. He had more than just the necessities of life. If this guy was around today, he would probably give Bill Gates a run for his money. If he would be of today, he would be that he'd probably drive the nicest car that money could buy, and live in the biggest house that money could buy. While he was on earth and alive, he didn't want for anything. This guy had it made. As far as we know, he didn't have the Lord in his life, though. You know, you've heard the saying, money can't buy happiness, but it can buy everything else. And as we go through life, you know, everybody in the sin, some one way or another, they had to have a sense of chasing that dollar, trying to get ahead. You know, you like to have money in the bank, money in savings, and you have what a nest egg, or maybe you have a 401k, or whatever the case is. We all like to look to, you know, we all like to have a little bit extra just in case something happens. I don't know, I saw a commercial on TV the other day about a refrigerator. That you can now have Keurig. What's it called?
Keurig.
Keurig. We have one of those. I walk by every day. on the front of your refrigerator. And you can also have right above that a TV screen on your refrigerator. And you can have all that for just one small price of $2,627, something like that. I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to carry on the counter. Have a TV in the living room. I don't need that big old refrigerator. You know what I'm saying? No, well, I'd have it. And just the day that the warranty ran out, the very next day, it would go kerplunk on me. And I'd have to go spend another $2,600 to have the living life, the life of luxury. Well, this man had all those things that money could buy. Anything that he wanted, he had it. And I think Jesus was trying to let us know. He had nice clothing. And purple was a type of clothing that it was just something that was very expensive. And because most people just had the things that cotton made or that wool made, and this guy had his clothes, they were dyed, they were beautiful, and he had everything that he needed. But he didn't have Jesus.
Right.
And you know what? We can have everything that this world has to offer. But what would it profit a man if he gained the whole world and lose his soul? What would a man give in exchange for his soul? Well, number 2, Lazarus, on the other hand, had nothing. Luke, verse 20 there of the scripture, and there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which lay at his gate full of sores. Lazarus was in need of everything and had nothing. In those days and times, there wasn't any aid, there wasn't any WIC, there wasn't anything that he could, he couldn't file for Social Security, or he couldn't get a disability or anything like that. He had to beg for everything that he had. Can you imagine that? Every day, his life goal was to just get enough food to make it till tomorrow. His life goal was just to sit or lay in a certain way to where all these sores that were on his body wouldn't hurt him and wouldn't be terrible. And I can't imagine the infection that he may have had and the problems that he had. And you know what? He laid at this man's gate, and you know what? He just begged for everything that he had. He didn't have nice clothes like the rich man. He didn't live sumptuously every day like the rich man. Lazarus ate from the rich man's table, though. Yeah, the crumbs that fell off the table or was wiped away. That is, if he beat the dogs to him. He probably had to go and pick up the crumbs after the rich man was done eating. Lazarus stayed at the gate. Wasn't allowed to come into the house. Although the man's house, he probably had plenty of room for the guy. He probably could have put him in a little small house out back, and took care of the guy. But you know what? All the rich man cared about was himself. He didn't care about this. He didn't care about this beggar. He didn't care about anything else. He had everything he wanted, and he didn't care about anybody else. Well, Lazarus was a beggar. Anything he got, he had to beg for it. He probably had eaten out of a few trash cans. I remember a story that Brother Long told. There was a couple in our church, Kay and Benny Critchfield. And they were different. And I remember that Benny worked on the trash truck, the city trash truck. And he knew Pastor Long, he was the associate pastor, and he knew that he was going to be in the office, so Benny had a break, and they drove by, and they were picking up trash, and he went into Dad's office, or into the church, and he said, Brother Long, he said, yeah, I'm in my office. He come in, and he had this thing, a package, like honey buns or whatever, in a pack, and he said, I brought you some breakfast, and Dad had coffee there, and they poured him a cup of coffee, and Benny opened up this package and handed Pastor Long one of those honey buns or cinnamon rolls, where they were, and he was eating one. And I remember every time we got together for a covered dish, when Benny ate, it didn't always stay in his mouth, and although, and I could just imagine it happening, and Dad was eating this, and they were talking, and he said, man, these are pretty good. Where'd you get them, Benny? And he said, well, I got them out of the Dillons. He said, really? Did you buy them? No, they were on the top of the trash before we dumped the trash cans.
They're so good.
And Pastor Long said, they were in the trash? Yeah, but brother, the package wasn't ripped. He said, was there anything on top of it? Well, a few things, but I brushed it all off before I got here. And he said, Benny, you pulled these out of the trash. I know, brother, but they're good, aren't they? And Dad said he put his cinnamon down and said, Benny, I can't take breakfast with you anymore, and please don't bring me anything that you find off your route. Well, it gets better. We went to go move these people out of a mobile home. They had been evicted. And I remember when we went into this mobile home, this little small mobile home. And they had a few little ones, rugrats, you know. And they were always dirty. You know, the ones always have snot plastered to their face, and you know. Anyways, I remember, I'll never forget the longest day I lived. We walked in there and Dad says, look at this. And he opened up the refrigerator. It hadn't been working for a long time, and maggots were crawling all over everything. That's enough. and he shut the refrigerator and he said, go outside. Do not come back in this trailer until we're done. And I said, when he got out, I said, what are we going to move? Why would we move that? I said, well, we're not moving that. And then, you know, they had a few boxes, and they had an old run-down couch. When I remember when we got home, Mom said, okay, you guys are going to have to undress outside, and we're going to burn your clothing. I mean, that's about how bad it was. We did have to undress outside on the porch, and she put all of our clothes in a trash bag. She said, I don't know if we're going to wash them or we're going to throw them away. But as I was thinking about that, I was thinking, you know what, that's kind of how Lazarus' life was. He didn't have any luxuries. He didn't have air conditioning. He didn't have a carpeted house or a wood floor. He didn't have a bed to sleep in. He couldn't get up in the middle of the night and go to the refrigerator and pull something out and fix it, you know, pop it in the microwave. He didn't have any ice for his, you know, whatever he drank. He probably drank out of, you know, maybe a fountain or a stream or whatever, wherever he could get something, you know. He didn't have the things that a lot of us take for granted. I imagine if we had sores all over us, we would probably go to a doctor. He didn't have a doctor to go to. He didn't have any insurance. He couldn't get any substance or any aid to fix it, you know, and he was literally in torment, I would imagine, as far as, you know, most of us would have thought, you know what, I'm probably going to die. I probably couldn't put up with this. Well, he didn't have the medication or the creams to take care of the infantago that probably plagued his body. The Bible says in verse 21, and he desired to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. That's all he had. He might have had a case of lice in his hair. He probably wasn't able to take a shower or bathe every day. I doubt he was able to brush his teeth every day or at all. I doubt he was able to. He probably barely had enough food, so he probably was able to wash his clothes. Probably didn't have any shampoo or deodorant, let alone cologne or anything. Probably wasn't able to, probably didn't, you know, can you imagine if he didn't have any fingernail clippers, it maybe bit him off, but, you know, but can you imagine? It got to where he just had so much dirt and stuff on him that he wasn't able to be comfortable at all. How many of you, you know, you go maybe a day or so, we used to go camping. And we, you know, about every other year we'd go somewhere camping. And I thought, you know what? I'm going camping, I don't need to take a shower. Nah, I'll brush my teeth, you know, in the brook, the water there. I'll be all right. Then about the second day, I said, you know what? I'd pay $10 for a shower. And we had to give out, load up the vehicle, and we drove down, and we had, you know, you got in a shower, and you put so many quarters in, and you used to wash, you know, because the water shut off, and you had to wait for it, and you put more quarters in, whatever the case was, and then we grabbed the man alive. But after I had that shower, man, I felt so much better. My hair was no longer sticky and greasy and yucky. I could see my hands, I could see my fingerprints. You know, and you know, and you put a little bit of that stinkum on, and you don't smell so bad anymore. And man, and I remember we were talking about today at lunch when Nolan was little. he'd get something on his hands, and he'd say, "My hands are sticky." And if he wouldn't wipe them off, he'd just sit there and cry, "My hands are sticky." And he said that happened last week, but I didn't know it. But that's what he said at the table. But I remember that, he did not, he had his birthday cake, and when, that first, he wouldn't touch it. He wouldn't touch it because he knew his hands were sticky. But anyways, let's get back on my message. This man had nothing that the rich man had. This man just barely made it. And in America, there are people every day just like this. I see them all the time. Just like this. You see them. They're pushing a cart. You think, what in the world? You know what? Everything they can collect, they can recycle, they can just get just a little bit of money just to buy them something to eat. Just to get them something to drink. That's what they're doing. And it's sad. But you know what? Lazarus didn't complain. Or at least the Bible doesn't say he did. He wasn't, "Oh, woe is me." He was grateful for the things that he had. Well then, in heaven, the Bible says that Lazarus died and was carried by the angels in Abraham's bosom. And you notice there, the rich man died, and the next words is, and he was buried. Mm-hmm. He was buried. He had nothing to look forward to after this life. And it came to pass, the beggar died and was carried by the angels in Abraham's bosom, and the rich man also died and was buried. The best thing that could have ever happened to Lazarus was he died. He died. He was then carried by the angels in heaven. Now he needed nothing. The rich man also died, and in verse 22 it said, and he was buried. The very next verse tells us that in hell he lifted up his eyes, being in torment. He didn't go to purgatory. He didn't go to a waiting place. After he died, he went to hell. And he had nothing. Where was all those nice things that he had then? They were all gone. And now he's in terrible torment. I can imagine serious pain. If I had a match or a lighter, who could hold their hand under a lighter for 10 seconds with the fire hitting your hand? You couldn't. Can you imagine his entire body feeling torment of fire? There's two ways I don't want to die. I don't want to die in a fire, and I don't want to die drowning. But if I have a choice, I'd rather die drowning. I don't want to burn up. But he was in hell. And you know what? And in verse 23 and 24 tells us the rich man could feel, he could see, he could hear, he could talk, and he had all the senses. He didn't just burn up and fade away. This is a clear picture of how hell is going to be. He was in complete torment. He had nothing. Well, number 4, the rich man told Abraham that he could the rich man was told by Abraham that he could never leave hell. In verse 26, and besides all this, between us and you, there is a great gulf fixed. And they which are passing thence to you neither can they pass from us that we pass to thence. I've told you before, one of the worst things that's going to be about hell, in my opinion, is a complete separation from God. The grace is going to be gone. The love is going to be gone. The faith is going to be gone. The trust in God. Even though I imagine the biggest prayer meeting is going on in hell right now, begging God. And I imagine that God, because that great gulf, God's going to turn the deaf ear to him. Because nothing can be changed. It's all said and done. You want to do right, but it won't matter. You want to live right, but it don't matter. You want to treat people right, but it's too late. You want to get whatever you can do. If I had to do all over again, I can imagine people were saying, if I had to do all over again, I would do it a whole lot different, but it's too late. You know what? I'll do do right, I'll treat people nice, blah, blah, blah. You know, I can imagine that the rich man probably was thinking, man, I wish I would have fed that beggar. I wish I had took care of that beggar. Man, I probably would have, maybe I wouldn't have been here. But you know, it was too late. It was too late for any of that. It was all done. His own fate was sealed by him. It was his choice. You say, well, who would choose to go to hell? Well, we don't choose to go to hell, but if we don't learn, if we don't serve God, if we don't give God our life, if we don't become a Christian, you know what, in a sense, we're choosing to go to hell. Because you can't serve two masters. You'll love one and hate the other, or hate the other and love one. You can't serve both of them. You can't straddle the fence. You can't just, you know, well, today I'm going to be a Christian, but tomorrow I'm going to do what I want. And the next day maybe I'll be a Christian again, but then the next day I'm going to do what I want. You can't live a life like that. You know, because God can see right through that. We talked this morning in class about Noah. And as we were talking about the 8 people that got on the boat, I was thinking, well, you know what? Can you imagine if everybody that was alive then would have gone on the boat? And then I thought, as I said that, but God knew who was going to get on the boat. God knew exactly how much room they were going to need. God knew that they wouldn't need any more room than for 8 people. Even though God offered it to everybody, but not everybody accepted it. You know, that's exactly the same. That's exactly what I'm talking about tonight. God has offered it to everybody, but not everybody's going to accept it. Some people are going to accept, you know, they're going to have to face hell because they won't accept Christ. And you know what? When they get to hell, when they stand before God, they're going to say, man, I wish I did something different. But then it's going to be too late. I hate when I get God. You know what I mean? When I say, I can't find, I'm trying to look for something in the pantry and I can't find it. Can't find it. And so what I do is I rearrange the whole pantry. In alphabetical order. I don't do that. I'm not that crazy. But I rearrange the whole pantry. And then they say, well, I'm looking for this. Okay, it's on the second shelf, third from the left. But when I can't find something and I can't find it, Melissa goes in there, here it is right here. Oh, man. I looked there 100 times, I couldn't find it. But you know what? That's how you're going to feel when you stand before God. You're going to say, you know what? He said, why didn't you live for me? Well, I was trying to, I just couldn't quite do it. And when he tells you, you know what, you goofed up, and you know what you're going to miss out on? I wonder if God's going to give people just a little glimpse of what they're going to miss out on. He might, you don't know. The Bible doesn't tell us. I know if hopefully, my prayer is, I'm standing with the sheep, but I don't want a little glimpse of hell. Because I don't want to see those people that are in hell. Some people that I may have visited on a Saturday or during the week. Some people that I may have known as good friends. Some people that I may have known that sat in this very church. I don't want to see that. Lazarus was in heaven. He needed nothing. He had need for nothing. He had everything he needed. Will it be fair? Yes. Because God is fair. God is just. And God doesn't send anybody to hell. We choose on our own where we're going to spend eternity. We know this by the way we live our lives here on earth. That what we deserve is what we deserve. You've heard the saying, you made your bed, now you're asleep in it. You know what? Sometimes it's rough to face the truth. Sometimes it's rough when, when people give you the cold, hard facts. Sometimes we don't want to hear it. But I can't imagine what the rich man heard as they drug him off, or with, whatever, however they did it, opened the door to hell and dropped him in. I can't imagine. Well, we think it's fair? No, but that's how it will be for all eternity. Were you warned? Yes. All of you have been warned. Here, and you're hearing the very words from the Bible. That little fellow this morning that was on that video, he said he wants to get the gospel to 7 billion people, and he says he believes it's possible. And look what he's doing. He said, well, yeah, but nothing. If anybody had an opportunity to feel sorry for themselves or you know, just not really do a whole lot, that guy would have it. Yet he says he's going to spread the gospel as much as he can, as long as he can, as far as he can to the people in the deepest, darkest jungles, wherever he can go, wherever he can get a crowd. I heard him on, there was a video online on YouTube, and he said he was in a car going somewhere, and his friend was driving, and he was sitting in the passenger seat. He's pretty, you know, he's a good-looking guy. And he looked over, and this gal kind of smiled at him. Then he smiled back, and then you know what he did? He was in his car seat, and he went like this. In the car seat. He looked back over, and she's like, ah. She had this terrible look on her face. He just did a complete circle because, you know, he could. In the car, he did a complete circle. Oh, she drove off. I'd do something like that. If I was this guy, that was all, man, I'm telling you, I would do something like that. But you know what? He's got a good attitude. He's got a smile on his face. And I was thinking of that, watching that, you know, Ray Tibbles. He's in a wheelchair every day. 7'2". Big man. Brother Frank and I went over there. And we saw the love that he had for God. Even though he's in pain every day. If you have arthritis, you can imagine. If you have any form of it, you can imagine. He's got rheumatoid disease. But yet he loves God. And he said, you know, he was so happy when we got there. He just got back from some, I guess his aunt just brought the groceries and they were there. And he said, you know, put them away, don't worry about it. Because his arm was as long as my whole body, I think. You know, he said, you reach into the cabinets and whatever. He said, don't worry. But you know, Frank, he was just praising God. You know, he said, I don't know why this is happening, but you know what? I know God's going to get the glory for it. And he said, we mentioned a guy that he knows that used to come, doesn't come anymore, to hear it. And he says, you know what? I don't understand why people could go every service and won't.
Right.
Yeah.
When I would love to be able to come and set service, but I can't.
Yeah.
You will remember this very service and all the others that you sat through and didn't respond in a positive way to the gospel. In hell, you remember this. Well, number 5. In hell, the rich man now needed something from Lazarus.
Mm-hmm.
The tables were turned a little bit. He needed something from, he said, let me turn there real quick. Luke chapter 16, if you're there, if you're still there. He needed something from Lazarus. He said, I have 5 brothers, let alone the water. The water, you know, yeah, that would have cooled the stomach for a second. But he said in verse 28, for I have 5 brethren, that he may testify in them. Go, he wrote verse 27. Then he said, I pray thee therefore, Father, that thou wouldest send him to my father's house. For I have 5 brothers, that he may testify in them, lest they also come to this place of torment. Now, obviously, the whole family needed Jesus. Obviously. In verse 29, Abraham said unto him, they have Moses and the prophets. Let them hear them. And he said, nay, Father Abraham, but if one went unto them from the dead, they will repent. Jesus said, no, they wouldn't believe it. He said unto him, if they hear not Moses and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded, though one rose from the dead. You know how Jesus knew that? Because he knew after he was going to rise from the dead, there were still going to be people that would die. There were still going to be people that were going to say, oh, he probably really didn't die. He probably really wasn't dead. It's not real. Jesus knew that, you know what, if somebody came back from the dead, there would still be people that would be skeptical. And probably his brothers not being saved, probably not being in church, not following the gospel, and they needed Jesus, you know what, they probably wouldn't respond. And he knew. all those things that he had here on earth were nowhere to be found. He had no comfort whatsoever. He was in the complete opposite of what Lazarus had in heaven. Now he remembered how Lazarus must have felt, completely miserable. He wanted Abraham to send Lazarus to his brothers, but he said, no, they won't listen. He didn't want them to end up in hell, or he wanted somebody to do something so they wouldn't come here. Because you know what? He said, I don't want them to have to put up with this and have to live a life, have to live eternity in this. And Abraham told him that they have Moses and the prophets, and if they won't listen to them, they won't listen to Lazarus. They were doomed. Do you know where hell is? Hell is at the end of a misspent life. Hell is at the end of a life without Christ. Can we change it? Only before Jesus comes back. Because after he comes back, and if we end up like the rich man, it'll be too late. I had a conversation with a fellow that is associate pastor at the Seventh-day Adventist Church. And he told me this story has already happened. I said, oh, it has? He said, yeah, it's already happened. I said, well, you can believe what you want. We talked about an hour. Very gracious man, very well versed in the Bible. Believes that you're just going to burn up and that's going to be it. I said, well, you know what? That's a good one to live by, but that's going to be a scary one to die by. Mm-hmm. Because the Bible says, where the fire is not quenched, where the worm dieth not, the fire is not quenched. There's not going to be any comfort in hell. Well, in conclusion, beyond that, we are left with this truth. God, in His matchless love and power, is planning a glorious reunion. Then our eternal rejoicing will begin. The last page of this great mystery has a happy ending. Don't you want to be a part of that happy ending with Jesus in the air? Let's stand together tonight. It's a great mystery. We believe in heaven, but with faith. We believe in hell with faith. And we believe that our loved ones, and I believe with all my heart that our loved ones, or our friends, our family that has gone on before, that if they accepted Christ prior to that, that they are in complete comfort. They have all the luxuries of life. They have everything you can imagine. But the thing that's scary is those that died not knowing Jesus. They have nothing to look forward to. I know we're pretty much just home folks tonight, but you know what? I just wanted to remind us, you know what, that it's serious. It's serious. And you know what? The last thing I want to do is to take it for granted. You know I'm here every time the church is open. You say, well, yeah, you're the pastor. But no, before I was the pastor, I was here every time the church was open, unless there was a couple times I was sick. One time I had pneumonia. But you know what? I want to get closer to God every day of my life. I want to just get the things that God has for me while I'm here. I want to grow in knowledge and in truth and in wisdom. And I want to get those from God. But I can't get those by not being here. I cannot get those from not getting them from God. I'm just not going to just one day just have them. No, I need to get closer and closer and closer to God and try and do what I can to live for Him. To see souls saved. I'm telling you, we are going to see souls saved this year. I asked God tonight when I was here praying, I said, God, I want you to send me at least one person this week that doesn't know you so I can lead them to you, Lord. And then next week I want another person. And then next week I want another. 52 weeks I want, you know what? Can you imagine if I found 52 people that didn't know Jesus and they were able to accept Christ and come and be in church with us? How much that fire would catch from one family to another, and how it would help us as we grow for the Lord? You say, well, that's impossible. No, it's not. You're crazy. Maybe that's what it's going to take. But I'm not going to give up. I want just one more. Just one more. I want to offer you the opportunity to come to an old-fashioned altar and lay your burdens at Jesus' feet. Would that be what you want to do tonight? Maybe you just want to see just one more. Maybe you have somebody in your mind, heart, mind. You've been praying for them. You know what? Maybe you know. Don't stop praying. Pray more. Pray harder. Pray longer. Pray more with a broken heart that God would save their soul before it's eternally too late. Anybody want to come tonight? Not really a soul winning message. I just wanted to remind us. You know what? It's serious about this thing called life and how we live it, and what we do while we're here. Don't ever take it for granted. Don't ever think it's just, you know, it's just a bunch of words on mounts and pages in a book. No, it's more than that. It's the inspired Word of God, the living Word of God. Anybody else before we